Alright guys, welcome back. I quickly want to talk about the Voiceless that you can go ahead and play on ladder today. Obviously there will be a combo video afterwards and we will also play on a live stream later on when I have done all the videos. I just want to show you a list that you can play if you have managed to get all these cards. Guys, honestly, if you have not seen my opinion about the pack, go check that out. It's in the top right corner. Should you buy this new pack or shouldn't you? But if you want to play Voiceless, this is something that the deck could look like. We will talk about every card and what you could also do. I will also talk about cheaper versions that you could go for, because this is definitely an expensive version. Don't get me wrong here. This is a super expensive deck. Don't go for this if you don't really want to play this deck, or if you are like a streamer like me or a content creator, then don't go for this. Don't support Konami on these terrible. I mean, look at this. Like we have, okay, let's count the mix here. I guess we have 6, we have 9, we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 31, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 cards out of these. I mean, it's basically the entire main deck is ultra rare, right? I mean, you don't have to play it like this, but obviously I have the cards like Nibiru and Super Poly, but it's so crazy. This is so expensive, but this is not what we are talking about. Let me know in the comments what do you think of the Voice and the rarity distribution. By the way, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell. This helps me a lot. Can we also talk about the fact that I crafted a lot of these cards and I did not get like a Royal Finish Low, I did not get a Royal Finish Diviner, neither did I get a Royal Finish Saphira or what else, but yeah. Okay, so we are playing here triple low. This makes sense because you want her to open her. It's a good one-card starter, the best one-card starter being your Diviner of the Herald. This is why you want to play the Diviner at 3, honestly. If you don't want, or if you are asking what you could skip out of these 6 here, then I would say play Diviner, play 3 Diviner. You can also use them in other decks, in ritual-based decks, and play 2 lows. 2 lows is also an option. 3 lows is better because even if you don't need, or if you don't open with your low from the hand, you still want to have low in the hand, so you can just use her as material for the Skull Guardian ritual summon, because she will come back to the field when you use her for the ritual summon of a light monster, either the Saphira, the Sora Avis, or the Skull Guardian here. So 3 is best. You can also play this at 2 if you want to go cheaper. So we have triple Maxi. This is a no-brainer, obviously. We have triple Diviner of the Herald. You can play this without the Diviner of the Herald. If you do so, then you also play it without the Trias Hierarchy, and then you also can put cards like the Elder, Entity, and Tess out, because you can also send and Tess. By the way, now that I see it, we also have the Synchro Super Rare that we can put in here. Also an option if you want to cut out one of the ultra rares from the extra deck. Another extra deck monster that you can play that is also quite nice is the, I'm not quite sure how this guy is called. This is also a Diviner thing. It's also a fairy, basically. I can find this guy by typing in fairy, I guess. Yeah, you can also play the Herald of the Arclight, which is only a super rare, and then you could decide to put out, I don't know, the end test, but we will talk about the extra deck monsters in a second here. So the best version of this is definitely with the 3 Diviners. Unfortunately, Diviner is not like making this deck a bit better, it makes this deck way better, and you will see in a combo video why. So 3 Diviner is basically the best way that you can play this deck. Obviously, we have Ash Blossoms in here. The Bestial Magnamut is very nice, because firstly, Bestials in the current meta are okay, and then you can search your Saphira with the Bestial Magnamut, which is very nice. But then again, the Bestial Magnamut is definitely not needed. So if you don't have Bestial Magnamut and you don't want to get him because he's an ultra rare, then you don't need him, okay? This is definitely one of the ultra rares that you can definitely get rid of and don't need in this deck. Then we have triple Saphira, which you definitely want to play triple Saphira. You can also go 2 if you want to, but opening a Saphira is very nice because this gets you the ritual spell in the grave and also a Skull Guardian to the hand, which is very strong. But if you play your triple pre-preparation of rights, which is only a super rare, you can definitely cut out on a Saphira, could cut out on a low. You could play 2/2 without the Bestial Magnamut if you wanted to, and that's definitely possible. But I think so in talking about this is like the most optimal version, right? But you can definitely play it elsewise. Just be aware of the fact that you will brick then a few times more often, I guess. We have one Sour Avis. This is a really nice one. Unfortunately, only in normal. We have Trias Hierarchy. This is the one that we want to send with our Diviner. So we go Diviner, send the Trias, then we activate Trias from the grave, tributing the Diviner on the field for cost. And because it was tributed, if this card is tributed, you can special summon one level 2 or lower fairy. We can then summon our low Prayer of the Voiceless Voice. Very nice, getting us into our place here. We play triple Nibiru in this deck because Nibiru can actually be used as the complete fodder because it's a light for our ritual monsters here. So not only is this a good hand trap in this deck, but this is also very good because we can use the Nibiru as cost for the ritual summon, which is why triple Nibiru makes more sense in this deck than basically in any one or in any else deck. You know what I mean? But you don't need to play triple Nibiru. I would definitely go ahead and play one Nibiru if you go play Maxis. This is just my philosophy. I like having a Nibiru in the deck if I have Maxis in the deck, because if I Maxi my opponent, then I have like a high impact hand trap that I can draw in the terms of a Nibiru that can clear the entire field, which is very nice. Also, I think Nibiru is quite nice in the current form. It definitely goes hard against stuff like the Jubel and also the fire decks. So this is quite nice. The Nibiru unfortunately is not that great against Voiceless Voice, because normally you will have a Skull Guardian up at the point when Nibiru can come down, and you can also play with 4 summons with the Voiceless Voice deck without any problems. So if a lot of people are playing Voiceless Voice, the Nibiru is not that great, then you might want to cut it. I'm not quite sure though whether a lot of people will play this deck because it's so expensive. We have 2 Skull Guardians. You could in theory get away with 1. This is definitely something that you could cut if you want to, but having 2 is nice because you can resummon him if he gets destroyed via your Prayers of the Voiceless Voice ritual spell. We have 1 Sour Harvest. If you have another one already and you don't need to craft him, you can also play a second one. You definitely want 1 because we can also summon him, and he's an inherent summon negate, which means he can, for example, negate Diabellstar, or he can also negate stuff from the extra deck being summoned. So that's quite nice. If you have 2, you can definitely play 2. This can also protect your Low or your Diviner from being targeted with an Imperm or an Effect Veiler if this is in the hand, but I think that you don't need 2. 1 is enough. You can also play this, and now I have to search, I have to delete this, the Odd Eyes Dragon you could also play, which is, I don't have it because it's also an ultra rare. If you have him, you can also play him here, the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon, which is a spell negate that you can also ritual summon. Also an option here, but you can also go with this 1-2 split. I would not go for this, like 1 Skull Guardian and 1 Sour Harvest. This is a bit too little, like ritual. 3 is, I guess, the minimum number that you want to go. Most people will play it like this, but you don't need to. I would play 2 and 1, honestly. Then we have Pre-Preparation of Rites, insanely good card because this gets you one of the ritual monsters. Remember that you can also grab your Sour Harvest to protect, for example, your normal summons from being impermed or, Effect Veiler here. So this is definitely a 3 of a super strong card. You can also grab stuff from your graveyard to your hand. Then we play Pot of Prosperity. This is just an amazing card. We don't really need our extra deck. Our extra deck is basically free. You can also go ahead if you want to put one of the ultra rares out for something else that is useful. You can put a Pot of Extravagance in here. Banishing stuff from your extra deck is okay. You don't need most of the stuff here. So feel free and put in a Pot of Extravagance if you want. We are playing 2 Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. This is the ratio that has been confirmed for the best ratio for this card. You will most likely not use this for the ritual summon. You will always use your Zafira because you can banish your Zafira from the graveyard to ritual summon. We have triple Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. Definitely a 3 of, honestly. One of the cards that you could cut to 2 if you want to, though I'm not quite sure. Let's say we have these 3 ultra rares here. Which one would I cut first? Definitely not Zafira. I think Zafira is the best one. I would cut a Low first, and then I would cut a Barrier if you want to cut something else. But yeah, triple Barrier is basically what you want to have. We want 1 Blessing. This is for the grind game. This is a very nice card. I play a triple Super Polymerization because I personally think this is the best board breaker / hand trap that we can fit in here. That's why I also play the Garua and the Mud Dragon here. This is very nice against the fire decks. If you can get rid of their fire monsters on the field, then this basically, they need the Kirin in the hand then, because otherwise they can't access the Promethean Princess. The Garunix will not be summoned from the graveyard. So if you can get rid of the cards from the field, this is very effective. And also against Jubel, which is on the ladder a lot, you can also fuse away the Phantom of Jubel and the Rage, the Unchained Soul of Rage. And because Unchained Soul of Rage does not get destroyed but fused away, it will not trigger, and they can't get it back if they do not play the Revive trap. So I think against the meta, this is currently very effective. This is also nice against Voiceless. You can fuse away the Low and the Skull Guardian here. Then again, they can, if the Skull Guardian leaves the field with this in the grave, summon another Skull Guardian, and then the Low in the graveyard would come back to the field. So it's not that great against Voiceless Voice, but you can also get like a Mud Dragon on the field protecting you from being targeted if you call Light. So that's quite nice. We will test this out. I think Super Poly is nice here, but honestly, if you don't have Super Poly, then don't go ahead and craft craft this. I had this already. Just put these super polis out and play with 41 cards. Also possible. We have 2 court buys, 1 crossout. This is a no-brainer. It's just amazing. Triple infinite impermanence. What do I need to say about this? And then this really strong trap here. You want to play one of the traps. Then for our extra deck, we have an Entist because we can send this with our Diviner, thereby destroying a card. So if we go second and we don't need to get to our low, basically, we can dump our Elder Entity and destroy a card. This is nice for clearing the field up, but you don't need the Elder Entity. We have this for the Super Poly. If you don't play the Super Poly, you don't play this. But if you play the Super Poly, play the Garura. Then you can also play the Herald, for example, replacing the Elder Entity, because this is also something you can send with your Diviner if you need either the Ritual spell or a Ritual monster. Then we have Baron de Fleur, which you can make, for example, this is a tuner, and if you then, whatever you send, I think, you can send one, and if you do this, increase this card's level by that monster's level. So for example, you can send, do I remember this correctly? Can we make a, we could make a Baron de Fleur. You can send, for example, a Low, and then this is level 3, and together with like a Sour Avis. Or you can send, this would be level 11 then, yeah. You could send a Low, and together with a Sour Avis, it could be a Baron de Fleur, but it's actually not that likely. I think if you want to get to the Baron de Fleur, and maybe this is better, if you want to get to the Baron de Fleur more effectively, you would go for an Excel Synchro, because level 8 is easier to achieve. You just send... You have a level 6 Bestial here, you send a level 1 and then level 7. It's really tough now that I think about it. You might not even need this Baron because it's basically impossible to make here. So if you don't have a Baron, which I don't think that this is the case, you can also put the Baron out here. Chaos Angel is definitely nice. You do want to have one Chaos Angel. You do want to have Superstar Slayer Typhon. I think if you don't have it crafted, you will have it in or use it in a lot of decks. There is this combo you can use with the Secure Gardener together with the Salamander. Almirage will be in the combo video. You don't need to play this, then put out the Secure Gardener as well, because these two work together. There is an Anima that you can obviously make with Low. Anima is always very nice, but you don't need Anima. If you don't have it, put it out. So go first for the Ultra Rares in the main deck. The Ultra Rares in the extra deck are definitely not that important. You can go with without every one of these Ultra Rares, but IP Masquerina, Starslayer Typhon, and Little Knight. I guess these are the best ones, but these are also the most important ones for the entire game here for every other deck. We have Masquerina to go into an SP Little Knight. This is definitely a very nice combo that we can achieve here. This one is quite important, the Dynamondo. You will see this in the combo video, very cool. And then we have a Dark. We can make a Dark via our relinquished Anima. If you don't play the Anima, don't play the Dark. And then we have a Liner that if we play against other Voiceless Voice players, we can steal their Low, for example, which depending on how many Voiceless Voice players you see, you can use this. But honestly, you can also go play Underworld Goddess. Maybe an Underworld Goddess would be better than a Baron de Fleur now that I think about it, because maybe there is this Weight Raptor stuff. Then again, it's very hard to get a lot of bodies ready with this deck here, so it's also not the best one. You can also play an Access Code Talker. Yeah, because this deck is not that great at finishing your opponent. It's more of a grindy one, but yeah, the extra deck is very flexible, but this is the main deck I would play optimally, and we talked about what you could replace here. You can play without the Diviner if you want, then put out the Trias here. You can cut the Low, you can cut a Barrier, you can cut a Skull Guardian if you want to. Don't play the Super Poly if you don't have them, and you can also cut out on Nips. I would play one with a Maxi if I were you, but yeah, you can make it cheaper, that's for sure. And from the extra deck, you don't need a lot of stuff besides like the IP, the Star Slayer, maybe the SP, Little Knight, but these are great cards in general. Let me know in the comments what you think. How is your deck list looking? Will I see you on the live stream later on? The combo video will also be coming. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for being here, and we will see each other in the next one.